How does the Posse Comitatus Act work with Title 10 United States Code? Imagine a scenario where military forces are called upon to assist in domestic law enforcement. It might seem straightforward, but the legal boundaries governing such actions are quite complex and carefully defined. Understanding how the Posse Comitatus Act interacts with Title 10 of the United States Code reveals the precise limits and allowances for military involvement within the United States. The Posse Comitatus Act was enacted in 1878 to restrict the use of the United States Army and later the Air Force in enforcing domestic laws. Its primary purpose is to prevent the military from acting as a police force within the country, thereby maintaining the constitutional separation of military and civilian authority. The Act explicitly prohibits the use of military personnel to execute the laws unless expressly authorized by Congress or the Constitution. Title 10 of the United States Code outlines the organization, administration, and functions of the United States Armed Forces. It provides the legal framework for military operations, including the roles and responsibilities of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Space Force. Importantly, it also contains provisions that specify circumstances under which military forces can be involved in domestic activities. While the Posse Comitatus Act restricts direct law enforcement actions by the military, certain exceptions are embedded within Title 10. For example, the Act does not apply to the National Guard when it is under state authority. When the National Guard is activated by a state governor, it operates under state law and can perform law enforcement duties without violating the Posse Comitatus Act. However, if the federal government federalizes the National Guard or deploys active duty military units, the restrictions of the Posse Comitatus Act come into play. Furthermore, Title 10 authorizes specific military operations that may intersect with law enforcement, such as counter-drug activities or disaster response. These are often carried out under special statutes or executive orders that provide legal authority. For instance, the Insurrection Act allows the president to deploy military forces to suppress insurrections or enforce federal laws, overriding the general restrictions of the Posse Comitatus Act. In essence, the interaction between the Posse Comitatus Act and Title 10 is characterized by a balance between preventing military overreach and allowing targeted, lawful assistance in certain situations. The Act sets the fundamental limits, while Title 10 provides the legal pathways and exceptions that enable the military to support civilian authorities when appropriate and authorized. This careful legal framework ensures that military involvement in domestic affairs remains within constitutional bounds, safeguarding civil liberties while enabling effective responses to national emergencies.